Hi there. I just wanted to make this video because I've finally been putting my Sneasel binder into the order in which the cards were released, so that I can easily see what I'm missing, and that way it'll look nice and pretty and show a nice timeline when everything's actually complete. So I want to go through it and just talk about the cards. This being obviously the very first Sneasel. As you can see, it's got a little first edition, so it is one of the very first cards ever off the print. This card notable, of course, for being one of the very first cards to ever be banned because Beat Up was just broken. In a time where the average hit points for a fully evolved Pokemon was about 80 to 100, the fact that for 2 energy you were going to average 80 damage and have no retreat cost and no weakness was just silly at that time, so it ended up getting banned because it was too powerful. So yeah, that's that one. Then Neo Revelation Sneasel, nothing special about the card really. Um, they must have looked at the first Sneasel and thought, okay, that was silly. But I mean, it's still got no retreat cost and no weakness. And for a double colorless energy, you had the potential to do 30, but compared to the 80 damage you were going to do from the this one, obviously nothing special. Aquapolis, it's a bit hard to see because of the fact that it's in an extra sleeve. The HP that's written on here, just here, that's on a sleeve, not on the actual card, so don't be worrying about that. Rocket Sneasel, I bought this off eBay, and really, the fact it's got a winner stamp I like, makes it a bit rarer to have. Condition's not great, not the perfect. I don't want to take it out the binder because, it's just hassle getting things in and out of binders. But, I don't mind about that. Our first gap in this collections at the moment is called Price's Sneasel. Now, this is a Japanese only card. It was never actually released in English. I haven't bought this yet because it's like 25 quid and I just don't have that money to spend on cards at the moment, on singles at the moment. So, next time I do have the money to spend, I'll certainly get one of these, probably, along with some others that we'll get to later on in the vid. Sneasel EX. Now, I've had this one for a very long time, but not in the version you're seeing. If I pull out, I know I just said I didn't want to take out binders, but now I've had this Japanese one because my friend Alex sent me it a long time ago, and I've had it for ages, and I thought, right, it's a nice card, and yeah, definitely take it off my list. But when I was at MegaCon in January, put it back in, I saw there was an English one for a tenner, so I'm like, you know what? I'll just have this English one. And yeah, now the next gap is probably going to be the last one I ever fill, to be honest, because it's Rocket Sneasel EX, and it's about 100 quid card, and it's very hard to find for any cheaper than that. So that's certainly going to be something that I have to like prepare for to buy, because I've never bought a card of that price at that price before. I've never spent that much money on a card. Then there's this McDonald's promo file, as you can see from the little M there. So this might be the first ever Weavile printed, and I say might because the next two cards, this one doesn't have a specifically clear release date. It just, Bulbapedia just says July 2005. Doesn't say a specific date. Now, this next one is Kids Weavile number 1. And this one is Kids Weavile number 2. Now, obviously, depending on the release date for that undated Rota's Weavile, the McDonald's one, the two Kids Weaviles could be first, but Bulbapedia has the McDonald's one listed first on the list, so I'm using that as a sort of guideline. Then we get to Diamond and Pearl Sneasel. Nothing specifically special. I think it was just printed to facilitate the first ever set printing of a Weavile. Now I have this in English and behind it, and I'm really not going to pull this out because there's an actual card in between the two. There's a Portuguese Weavile in behind there. I found it in a drawer, actually, while I was looking for stuff. Now, this is probably one of my favourite cards ever, and it's not a particularly meta-relevant card, and it's not a particularly strong card, but Claire gave me this exact card when we first met in 2009. I've had this card for 15 years, and I really treasure this card just because Claire gave it to me, and I've had it for so long. If I was going to get another card graded, I might do this one, but at the same time, I kind of like having it exactly as it was when Claire gave me it. So I probably won't grade it. After this is probably the weirdest one that's missing, because it's the only missing one from a set release. It'd be Legends Awakened randomly. For some reason I just don't have this one. Then there's Weavile G, which is like a really nice card. I remember having this back when the cards were fairly new, and I had this, but I probably, when I stopped collecting for a long time, and obviously I wasn't building this collection at the time, I just binned it. Then there's Undaunted, and Undaunted decided to spiritually reprint the original. They gave it the weakness. They gave it the same, a version of the same artwork, and they basically, it was the same card but with a weakness, and the fact that, Pokemon had more hit points back by this point, and you weren't knocking everything out in one turn, and at the same time there was basic darkness energy at this point, so you weren't doing the extra damage from the special energy necessarily. And then because Undaunted has a Sneasel also had a Weavile. I like this one. This was particularly pricey for a normal set release. I think it was £8 for this one. And yeah. And then Next Destinies had a Sneasel printed. Nothing particularly special. Nor is the Weavile that goes with it. It's a nice artwork. And yeah. Then there's Sneasel from Plasma Freeze. And then there's the Plasma Weavile from the same set. Obviously, there's a time where a lot of Pokemon were Team Plasma Pokemon. Then we've got Sneasel from Flashfire. And another Sneasel from Flashfire. Randomly, 2 Sneasels in the set. I think it was because they smushed a starter deck into a Japanese starter deck along with the Japanese version of the actual Flashfire set into our TCG release, and one of these 2 Sneasels came from that deck. And then there's the Weavile from Flashfire, Steam Siege Sneasel, which personally I think this is probably the most adorable Sneasel that there is as a card. Weavile from the same set, Sneasel, again Burning Shadows this one. This is the Burning Shadows Sneasel. And then Burning Shadows Weavile. We've got Ultra Prism Sneasel with Cyrus in the back there. I think it's Cyrus in the back. Yep, it's Cyrus in the back there. And then the Weavile as well. You've got Celestial Storm, where they just flat out reprinted the exact same art from Neo Genesis. Once again, Fury Swipes and Beat Up. They've given it a 1 retreat now. But as I said before, power creep means that the Pokemon just aren't getting one-shotted by Beat Up anymore. So there's no need to ban it anymore. And then there's the Unified Minds Sneasel. They had to make a Unified Minds Sneasel because right after this we've got Weavile GX, the first ever 2-prize Weavile card. Was very good in the Dark Box deck around the time. And this one I've had since 2019 when my friend Shay pulled it at Glasgow Comic Con from an Elite Trainer box that she just bought, and she immediately yeeted the card at me. Like, literally. From sitting down, opening the card, she literally just looked at me and threw it at me. Now, there's 2 gaps here. This is a Japanese exclusive full art and Rainbow Rare. I do technically own the full art version. Sophie just has it at the moment because she bought it from me from Australian eBay because it was cheaper to get it there. And when she comes back, she'll just give it to me then. Rainbow Rare, I'll have to get. They're not that expensive, so I will probably get one. And then there's some Cosmic Eclipse Sneasel, Cosmic Eclipse Weavile, and speaking of Sophie, she gave me this one just before she went to Australia. It's really nice character rare Weavile with Cyrus on it. We've got Chilling Rain Sneasel and Chilling Rain Weavile. We've got Brilliant Stars Sneasel and Brilliant Stars Weavile. By this point, Weavile is becoming uncommon. Hisuian Sneasel from Astral Radiance. Hisuian Sneasler, even the first ever Sneasler card. Obviously, that's the first ever and only actual Hisuian Sneasel card. Hisuian Sneasler, and then Hisuian Sneasler V got a card, and there's the full art as well. And my PSA 9 Sneasler V, love this card. Really happy to have this. I'm probably going to need to get another one of these because obviously being in a slab doesn't fit in the binder, and if I do want to have a binder of everything, I'm going to have to get a raw one of these probably. But thankfully the price has dropped significantly recently for this card. And then Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, my friend Tegan sold me this for a £5 pretty much 2-3 days after Lost Origin came out when they pulled it. So yeah. And then the Lost Origin Triple Booster promo Weavile. Was actually a real pain to have this because I thought I had one, but I couldn't find it, so I ended up just getting another one off of eBay. And then we're coming to the end now because this is Sneasel from Paldea Evolved, and well, Weavile from Paldea Evolved, and then in Paldean Fates we finally got Shiny Sneasel and Shiny Weavile. And at the point of me recording this on the 12th of April, those are all the Sneasel and Weavile cards that have actually been printed. So I've got some space in the binder still. I deliberately left some space in the binder to have room to put future releases in. And yeah. So hopefully we'll get some more cards to put in soon. And I probably won't do another one of these videos until the binder's full, to be honest, because at this point there's not many more to get. And yeah, we'll just do them as we get them. And I'm going to the Scotland Card Show in Glasgow at the end of June. And I'll probably see if I can finish the collection by then. Places like that card show are possibly likely to have the Japanese ones I'm missing, and maybe even a Rocket Sneasel EX. And given I get paid like a day before the Scotland Card Show, I can probably afford to get one at that point. But yeah, that's things as they are just now. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which one was your favourite, and also let me know if you're doing any similar collections like this. And yeah, take care.